Okay, I've never met him ever. This is my first time ever chatting with anyone from Epic High. And wouldn't you know, I'm looking at him on Zoom. Tablo from Epic High. How you doing, man?
Hello, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Excited for all the things that are coming up.
Yeah, you got a lot of good things happening, but the first thing I want to tell you on this little chat we're having, I got something for you.
Oh, you know what's funny is this is supposed to be like an item that we love, right? Because it's for our fans. But anytime our fans like flash it at us, there's that like millisecond where I'm like, wait, are they?
For those of you listening on the radio, they have the greatest light stick on the planet. It's the middle finger is what it is. What's the story? Before I get to anything else, the story behind the light stick, was it a joke at first? And I was also told it in the beginning you guys had some pushback. The company you were with wouldn't allow it, but here we are with this. What's the backstory on the light stick?
So this thing is called the Park Gyu Bong, which is a very Korean sounding name. But it's also like Pak Gyu, right? Like FU.
Right. Okay.
And so how it came about was that because we're a hip hop group, we never had this light stick thing. And we actually started music before light sticks became a thing in K-pop.
Right.
But later on, we were at YG, and YG was, one of the top K-pop companies. So they obviously had light sticks for all the artists, like unique light sticks. And immediately they asked us, like, do you guys want light sticks because everyone else has one? And we're like, yeah. And we told them exactly what we wanted, which was this, the middle finger. And they were like, huh? And I was like, I'm serious. And I drew it for them and stuff. I was like, something like this. And they're like, "Oh, okay, I don't think we can actually create that. Like, I don't think there's a company that can do that. Like, I'm really sorry, but we can't have like a family concert and everybody holding up the middle finger." And I was like, all right, all right. And then I told myself, one day I will do this. And eventually, after years of, we had a really good time there, and then we left. We went independent again, and we're like, okay, first thing on the list, we got to make this light stick.
And it's just hilarious. Yeah, we saw the light stick, and at first we thought it was my wife thought it was a joke. But she clicked on the link and she was waiting for the "ha, I got you" or something like that, and sure enough, it went to it was a thing. So of course we
Yeah.
got it, and it's just the greatest thing ever. I don't know if you were joking when you said this. You said if any venues block the light stick, you'll block the venue. Has anyone ever tried to block like a venue tried to block it, or are you
Well,
guys
so
just
far,
joking around?
so far that hasn't happened because I've seen this thing pop up at different K-pop concerts and also like big festivals in the US. Like places where we're not performing at, it's popping up. And but
That's
like
so good.
some of our fans are like really worried because this is new to them too. So they're like, what if the venue won't let me in if I'm holding the middle finger? And I'm like, don't worry. If anybody does that, we'll switch venues. Don't worry about it. Um, yeah, there's a learning curve for some of the fans because some of the fans are like they're like crafting bags to hide the middle finger from their parents.
No kidding.
Yeah, and but they'll catch on.
Yeah, it also comes in handy on the LA freeway. So, just a little thing. Hey,
Well said.
Epic High, of course, you guys celebrated your 20th anniversary as a group. It was a big year, global tour, sold out stadium shows, all this craziness, a movie. First of all, huge congrats.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
not everybody does that. Yeah. Did you ever think when you guys kicked off, when you first began Epic High, I mean, I don't know if you were thinking in these terms, but did you ever, fathom that 20 years later, you're going to be still doing it and even getting like I don't think you've reached your peak yet.
Uh, first, first of all, I didn't imagine that I would be alive after 20
Wow.
years. Like, we were like just coming out of our teens and we were like, life is unpredictable. So 20 years was something that we couldn't even like imagine. So we thought maybe 3 years we would get a good 3 to 5 years, and that would be like, that would be our legacy and that would be plenty of time. And I never imagined rapping beyond the 20s, like hitting 30, I really thought, oh, okay, I'm officially not allowed to rap anymore because you know, this is a young man's game. That's what I really thought to myself when I hit 30. I was like, oh, it's over for me. There's no way I can rap with these young kids, man. This is not the game for me. But, we enjoy doing tours and doing shows like year by year. We enjoy it more. So we can't even really count the time passing. It's when people remind us how long it's been that like I'm like, oh my God, really?
It's
But
something. I
but
mean,
then but then there are bands like Fish, right?
right?
And like like Fish's longevity is amazing, obviously. And I spent like 3 hours last night just reading up on like the things they were doing because I look at bands like that and I'm like, it is possible. Even like some are looking at us and saying, wow, it is possible to do it this long. And we're looking to other groups as well and thinking, hey, they're much older than us and they're still doing it. So, we have no excuse to stop.
Yeah, another group comes to mind that I'm in LA, and I've been friends with a lot of artists for a while, obviously. And one of these groups that a little older than you, Black Eyed Peas. You
Oh,
know,
obviously, yeah.
I mean, I think you guys are in that same, that same category of, breaking the mold in a way, which is, and not that you guys sound alike, but you guys are both, you have similarities in the sense that you're doing something that nobody else has done, really.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Epic High Part 2 in 2022, you put on this album and you said, I'm never going to make another album again, if that's a true statement. Why'd you say that? And then, here we are with another album. Why do another one?
So I don't know why I said that. I really technically what I said was I'm never making another studio album, like studio LP, right? Um, like a full length studio album. So after that, we've sort of been going out of our way to call our albums different things. Like this is an EP. And this time we're calling it this is a
Mixed,
mixtape.
yeah.
So technically, I'm not breaking my word here, right? So I'm now gonna run out of excuses. I have no idea what to label the next stuff we do. Like we always wanted to like close it up at some point, but I don't think it's easy to. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, what am I? Who am I kidding? I'm going back to the studio.
I mean, so just to confirm, we do, as we sit right now with this mixtape that just came out,
Yep.
you still are never going to put out another studio album as of today. That's the rule, right?
That's the rule. I will never put out a full length studio album.
All right, you heard it here. New mixtape Pump, June 20th, the release date. Fans are saying this is your plus 1 year because this feels like a fresh start for you guys. I assume you've heard that. Do you agree with that? And is this the new era for Epic High?
Yeah, because going past 10 years is scary, but 20 years. And when we had that movie come out in the theaters, we actually did a showing where we were with the fans watching it. And it was just like it was like kind of scary thinking about the year after that, like 21st year seems kind of like I don't know, it seems like overstaying after the party. So we were really happy when our fans started using the plus one. This is actually your first year. You guys are back to being rookies now because this is your 20 plus 1 year.
I like that.
And we really like that concept. So we decided to, really make an album as if this is our first year. So that's why we're releasing this mixtape, which is like the very first mixtape we've ever done. Like a hip hop group that has never had a mixtape is crazy, but um, we just thought that this was the perfect time to do it. And as late as it is, like it does feel like we're back to being like rookies.
How would you describe this mixtape Pump? And also, same question. How would you describe the lead single Antihero?
I think the vibe of the album, like as soon as people hear it, they're gonna be like, okay, this is like classic Epic High. They really do feel like, they're starting over. Because it's sort of like the album we would make if we were allowed to do whatever we wanted. Like if there was nobody like depending on us to feed them. Like if
Those
we
things.
had, yeah, like if we had no adult responsibilities, because the three of us are all dads, and like this is the album we would have made if we weren't dads for a little bit. And and that's how it sounds a little irreverent. Um, it sounds classic and also fresh at the same time. It's just a lot of fun. I think people will have fun with this album.
And I think you said you hope fans listen all the way through because of the great transitions. I don't, what did you mean by that?
Yeah, like we take a lot of time to build transitions between tracks so that it flows into the next song. And some of the songs we position it so that it actually just sounds like one song. Like one song sometimes sounds like two songs, and two songs sometimes sounds like it's intentionally supposed to be together. And then we divide up the tracks. So if you listen from the beginning to the end, which no one ever does anymore, right? No, who does that now? Like,
You know, fair point, but I've had a couple of artists tell me recently that they hope that when fans, listen, like Billie Eilish told me just a month ago, when you listen to this album, and I guess you're saying the same thing, go start to finish. There's something about the story, like beginning, there's a beginning, middle, and end. I assume
oh,
is that kind of what you mean?
yeah, yeah. Funny thing is, the most recent album that I listened to that's not mine, from beginning to end was Billie Eilish's new album.
Oh wow.
Like I literally, you know, I went for a walk so that I can finish the listen and listen from beginning to end. And I'm glad that there are, still people making albums like that, right? Where you might not have that many people listen to it from beginning to end, but for the people that do, you reward them with an experience that you just can't get from picking and choosing tracks.
Did it have that effect on you? Not to talk about her album. This is an epic high interview, but just as a fan, do you think you got something different by going start to finish as opposed to just picking and choosing tracks?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. It's 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 like going on, YouTube and watching clips of a great movie,
Right.
right? I mean, the clips are great. The scenes are great. That's what makes a great film, right? All the scenes separately are great, but it's not the same as, watching the movie for the first time from beginning to end and, walking out of the theater with that. So, um, definitely we put a lot of care into how we craft our albums.
That's a great way to put that. Tour. Of course, you're going to hit this crazy North American tour, which I believe kicks off in August. What can you say about the tour? And do you enjoy road life? I know everybody loves being on stage, most people, but everything that goes along with it, that's the rub there. Do you enjoy road life?
To be honest, I love every part of the road life. Like I love being with my bandmates. I love being with my staff. I love going to all those cities. We're going to 23 cities this time, right? And every time we have a new city, we're meeting new people, new fans, getting to taste new food. Everything about it is great. I've always liked like road trip movies, road trip novels. So it feels like I'm in a road trip movie, right? That part is great. There's only one part that I absolutely am like terrified of every time I go on tour. So on the tour bus, you're not allowed to go number two.
That's a typical. That's a rule that's very common among people that hit the road a lot. That's what
Yeah,
I've been told.
yeah, you're not allowed to go, the big one on tour buses. And the problem is because I know that rule exists, my body won't obey me,
Oh
right?
no.
Like it's as if my body's like, I'm gonna test this rule, I'm gonna break this rule. And it is
Is
very
your body's
it's
like,
yeah. at night and after we do a show, like for some reason our staff keeps like getting, buffalo wings or something delivered to the venue and they're like eating afterwards. And I see them and I'm like, I really want to eat that, but I know that if I eat it, I'm gonna be like suffering until the morning. And that's the one part of the tour that scares me to the point where like seriously, I won't eat after like 5 p.m.
Have you ever broken the rule?
Uh, well, let's just
None of my biz, but if you want to answer,
I don't want to go into details, but like for the sake of the listeners and viewers, but let's just say my body has broken that rule every year.
Oh no.
Every
Oh,
year so far. And it's just I can't go any further than this. I can't go into details.
safe to say if you weren't a founding member of Epic High, you might have been kicked out of the band by now.
Yes, yes. I would have had to walk to the
Oh,
next.
that's terrible. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen Epic High I've seen you only once, and I can't wait to see you again. I saw you at Camp LA 2022, the
Oh,
festival that almost didn't happen.
the
Yeah, right.
legendary festival.
Right. Dude, you guys were a riot, the highlight of the whole thing. Oh my God. All right, hey, Tablo, there's a question I have to ask you that's nothing to do with music. We just met. You have no idea that I'm obsessed with this, but I love the paranormal, ghost, haunted houses, anything in that world. I have a podcast called Paranormalish. I mean, I'm clearly off the deep end. Have you ever had anything that you would consider a paranormal encounter? And the reason I ask a lot of artists this, not just because I talk to a lot of artists, but B, you guys, visit a lot of hotels, and some of these hotels have a history. So I'm
Uh,
always curious if you've had something along those lines.
well, I've seen ghosts twice in my life. Um, the first time I saw one was in my own house. This was when I was younger, much younger. So I was at the computer and the computer we had at home was up against the wall. And then so everything was behind me, right? So if anybody had to cross over to another room, they would be going behind me. And then uh like I felt something, so I looked back and I saw my sister go from her room to my parents' room. And me and my sister were the only ones at home at the time.
Okay.
So I followed her there. I was like, yo, Luna, where are you going? And then I followed her there. And when I got to my parents' room, she wasn't there. So I'm like, what the heck? And I go back to her room and I'm like, didn't you just walk by? Because like I just followed you in there and you disappeared. And she's like, what are you talking about? I haven't moved. So it was only afterwards that I realized that I had seen a ghost. And the second time I saw a ghost was when we first made Epic High, and this was before our like debut. This was when we were underground, right? So we hadn't like debuted mainstream wise. And we were like in this basement with other rappers like preparing for a show and practicing. And it was three of us and two other rappers, so five people. But while we were practicing, I realized that I was looking at five people. So including me, there were six people, right? And so as soon as I realized that there was another person there that wasn't there, um, I could no longer see that person. So I stopped the practice and I was like, did you guys see the other person that was here with us? And those were the two times that I saw ghosts.
No, okay. Question on both of them. In your house, was there any sort of backstory to the house or a history that, like, I guess what I'm asking is any theory on who that was in your house?
I have no idea because that house was, we had been living in that house since I was like a baby. So, um, I have absolutely no idea. It's just like a normal apartment in Korea. So I have no idea why I saw. The reason why I thought it was my sister is because my sister sleeps in like white pajamas, and the lady that walked by was like she was dressed in white, but not like not like the cliche like ghost white, but it really just felt like my sister was walking by. It didn't feel like I was looking at a ghost, obviously. So
That's wild.
yeah, so it was only afterwards I realized that it may have been a ghost. And the practice one, I'm 100% sure it was a ghost because at a certain point, um, the reason why I realized that there was an extra person and maybe it was a ghost was because as we were like practicing and like crossing with each other, I could see through one of the people, which is what like kind of, and I'm sure there are people listening saying, "Oh, that's bullshit. Like, there's no way."
But
But that's what I saw, and it could have been a hallucination. I mean, you can rationalize it in any way you want, but that's what my brain saw.
was that when
So,
you in the rehearsal space? Was there a mirror? Yeah, so you know, I know a lot of rehearsal spaces have mirrors.
this place, we were very poor, so like there were no windows and no mirrors.
Gotcha. I guess well, I guess what I was leading to was I've heard that I've heard this story from a lot of artists in Korea that, and I don't know if this is a just a I don't know if this theory is just for Korea or if it's for the world, but ghosts are attracted to music and
Oh,
mirrors.
oh my God.
So,
Okay,
uh-oh,
okay.
what?
So yeah, there's this thing in Korea where we say they come to the studio a lot because they liked looped sounds,
Oh, I haven't heard that.
right? And
Right.
so those were the visual experiences I had. There are two audio experiences I had. We have a song on our second album where while I was recording, I heard like a woman's voice while I was getting my recording played back, which is not possible. So that was one experience. And this is gonna sound like I'm trying to pump this new album, but there's a song on our new album called I Was Happy. It's the last track. And I swear there's one part where I was listening back while we were mixing. I was listening to the acapella, like just the voice. And there's I can hear like someone else's voice repeating what I'm saying, like like what the vocals are saying. Um, there's a voice. I swear I can hear it, and uh, I don't know if it's still there, but I told my members, I was like, "Yo, am I the only one that hears this?" And I texted my engineer, and I was like, there's a weird voice that is repeating what the hook is singing, like."
What the
eh,
what?
So the engineer tried to isolate it, and there's nothing there. So he's like, "It's not there," and I swear I can still hear it.
So,
There's a part, and the thing is, no one else says that they can hear it. And I played it for Two Cuts, I played it for Mithra, I played it for my engineer. I was like, right there, you can't hear it. You can't hear the voice, and they're like, no, I don't hear it, but I can still hear it.
okay, so
I can,
when it comes out, that version that you're talking about will be on the album, right? That
yeah. To the if you have AirPods in or like headphones, I swear to the right, there's this really weird like child voice kind of that is repeating that is singing like slowly delayed uh of a word that the hook is singing. And I swear I can hear it. When it was played back to me while we were recording, I thought it was weird. But then, we couldn't isolate it, so we couldn't get rid of it, and we couldn't, redo the take because it was a good take. So we just kept it in, and I can still hear it, but the other guys say they can't.
and next when I finally get a chance to hear this track, and next time I talk to you, we have to revisit this because that is absolutely fascinating, and I'm glad you're leaving that in. It's just a
I,
cool story behind it, you know.
I will text you the exact part. Maybe you can hear it. Maybe someone that's more like in tune with this stuff or um, like pays attention can hear it. But my members honestly can't hear it because they don't really care. That's the thing.
Well, there's that.
Let's be honest. Like
You're
they
basically,
they don't hear it because they don't care about the things that I say.
God, Tablo, you're hilarious, dude. It's a real pleasure to finally meet you. Congrats on everything. I can't wait to hear this album and that particular clip. And I can't wait to meet you in person at hopefully at one of your shows, not at a festival that almost didn't happen.
Awesome. Awesome.
um, hey, but final question, message to your fans. And I'm talking like day one fans, which you have a lot of those. You're getting a lot of new fans. with the new light stick and all. What do you, message to your fans?
So to our day ones, to our like OG fans, I think, you know, saying it with words, um, it's too easy. So if you guys listen to the album, I think you will know how much we appreciate you because of the things that we bring back from the past into our new songs, the way we connect the dots. It's all there to thank you, right? To thank our day one fans and to reward them and to give them an experience that they can, they that where they can feel like they're in the present with us heading into the future, but all the things that we experienced in the past are still being rewarded as it goes. And to our new fans who are, and I'm so surprised that we constantly get new fans. I think things like this light stick and just the crazy antics that we do, I think that attracts them. Hopefully, we can bring them into like a universe that, they'll stay with. And there's a lot of experience and knowledge within our fandom because we've been together for so long. So our fans often help each other out and can give great life advice. So to the young fans that are coming in, you have a lot of what in Korean we would say oppas and onnis and nunas and hyungs, like siblings, older siblings that can help you and help you with different things in life. So thank you to everybody that is listening to Epic High.
Tablo, it's a real pleasure, man. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time.